on an ant farm. One follows another, follows another, follows another. It's mesmerizing. It's spellbinding. All these little consumers, all of these lost and bored people. People consuming anything that they're told to consume.
With him then elaborating to NBC saying, "While everybody pointed and laughed at me for over-consuming food, I was in total control the entire time. In reality, people are completely absorbed with internet personalities and obsessively watch their content. This is where a deeper level of overconsumption lies, and it's the parallel I wanted to make." Also, if you're wondering about what the fuck is up with the panda head, he told the outlet that it's meant to symbolize the, quote, "world of social media is not as black and white as it appears." But with all this, some of his viewers aren't buying that explanation. With them pointing out that it looks similar to the panda mask that fellow mukbang YouTuber Stephanie Sue's husband wears to conceal his identity. And this is also where things get really messy, because it turns out Nikocado and Sue, they have history. Right back in 2019, she posted a video titled "Why I Am Scared of Nikocado Avocado," in which she claimed that during a recent collab, Nikocado had pressured her to share gossip about her former friend and fellow YouTuber Veronica Wang.
I feel like I've been manipulated by fear, that I can't say no to him. I just want to take back my power to say no. Not feel like someone's holding this thing over me and threatening me.
But they're alleging that he has a pattern of behavior and pointing to times when he spammed her to get her to talk to him. But then Nikocado responded on social media threatening to expose her with audio clips to prove that she was in the wrong. But according to Sue, she never let him record any audio inside her home, so she checked her security cameras and found him taking photos while she was out of the room. But there, Nikocado defended himself, claiming that Sue agreed to talk about Veronica before filming the video and denying that he took any photos without her permission. And instead claiming that it was Sue that was the one being manipulative and begging him to collab on videos for her own fame, with him also name dropping a few other big mukbang YouTubers whom he claimed didn't actually like her. But then you had Sue shooting back with another video and bringing her own evidence that he was the one reaching out to get her to collab and that she had no bad blood with those YouTubers. Right? And so with all that as context, you had some people interpreting the panda mask in Friday's video as Nikocado's way of mocking Sue's husband, right? Especially because he dramatically takes it off showing his face. And it's also why you have others expressing frustration that it seems like everyone's forgotten about what he allegedly did to Sue and was just showering him with praise for his transformation. Though in his own video, Nikocado seems to acknowledge his infamy and he ropes it into his giant social experiment.
So I am the villain because I've made myself one. And you will continue to consume these stories about me year after year after year, for as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain.
But as far as what's next for Nikocado Avocado, it might actually be more of the same. But it looks like he's gonna be sticking with the same mukbang concept, with him even slurping down an enormous tray of spicy black bean noodles after his reveal and then ending with,
I love being a mukbanger. I love food. I like eating food. And I like being here, so.
But ultimately, here's what I'll say. One, I've only ever seen this guy in passing, and I think we've covered a few things in the past, but he genuinely seems happy and in a great place. But also two, I am saying that outside of that weird villain monologue, which is strange, feels like the safest word to use. But also three, I wish him all the best. His transformation and his accomplishment is nothing short of amazing. As someone who's lost between 90 and 100-ish pounds over like 2-3 years, I know that's hard. I can't fucking imagine 250 pounds in 2 years. Like in that regard, you can't help but give props. And if anything, I do hope it serves as inspiration that you can always turn your life around. But yeah, that said, I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts here? Then, just to take a quick 30-second break from the news real quick, I got a little community announcement. Over at wakeandmake.com, a lot of you know that we have our fantastic coffees, where right now you can actually get your first bags for 50% off. And those three, Guiding Light, Happy Medium, and Dark Matter, they've been our staples for about a year now. But we've also been wanting to get other fantastic coffee in your hands and in your mouth, which is why we're testing and launching our brand new International Coffee of the Month Club. We only have a few hundred spots open, but when you buy and subscribe, you'll get a new bag of coffee every month, with your first bag from the club being 25% off. This first batch 001 is a medium roast from You Will Find Out When You Get It, with the goal being every month you get to try new cool coffee. And then on our end at 6 months and 12 months, we'll look at the reactions and we might create new staple coffees based on the reactions. So yeah, snag your bag and spot while you can, because again, we're gonna keep these numbers limited. All at wakeandmake.com. Then shifting gears, let's talk about updates to the Dr. Disrespect situation. Right, some internet news, because he just hosted his first stream since taking a break after those allegations that he inappropriately messaged a minor. But that's also not exactly right. I mean, he himself himself also wrote in a statement, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. So we described them as casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Right? And especially since he released his statement, which he also ended up deleting, there's been a ton of fallout. With that including Doc's, aka Guy Beam's YouTube channel being demonetized, and a Rolling Stone article reporting that the messages between Doc and the minor were, quote, sexually graphic. And while Doc has been on this quote-unquote vacation, now with his latest stream, he said he wanted to offer his side of the story, seemingly in addition to his last previously deleted statement. And so with this, what we see is that he addresses the former Twitch employee Cody that came forward with the allegations and says that he suspects this was a coordinated attack against him. At one point, Doc then goes on to say that he deliberately chose the words that he used in his statement to bait reporters.
You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs. When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages? You didn't. I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place. These big-time publications, these journalists, these various outlets are sort of just gossip channels now, don't you think, champs?
Beam then goes on to say the same thing that he said in his original statement on X, that he had no intentions or plans of ever meeting up with the user. He then goes into details of his claim of how this whole situation came to be, saying that his former Twitch partner manager, who, quote, had it out for him, directed the user to file a report even after they said they didn't want to. Then, according to Guy Beam, that report was reviewed and the conclusion was drawn that it didn't need to be escalated. But then Beam says that his former partner manager personally sent the report up the chain to a friend on Twitch's law enforcement response team. And then he says,
the LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate, even when they aren't. Within less than 1 hour, this LER analyst and his director have made the decision to suspend me from Twitch. The same people that made this decision admit internally that the messages did not constitute sexting. The same people that made this decision at Twitch admit internally that the messages did not warrant any child sexual abuse material charge. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted they did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me without ever interviewing me, the user, or any other third party, including the partner manager. It's unbelievable!
Now here, it is worth noting that everything Doc has said in this video, it is just words. And pretty much everything with this story is just words. Right? Guy Beam as well did not include any messages, any documents, or anything to back up his claims. And actually regarding people in his chat saying, hey, release the messages, it led to this moment.
People want to show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in second grade?
Which, some have said is an interesting choice of words for a person in this particular situation. But as far as, if we will ever get anything, this is not an open and shut case yet. He says at the end of this conversation that he has more information he hasn't disclosed yet, but also he added that he isn't going to talk about this situation anymore unless he absolutely has to. But regardless of what information we may or may not see in the future, Doc's video once again caused a massive wave of reactions. So, there really being no shortage of big streamers having takes like XQC saying Doc's story really doesn't make any sense.
That would mean that in retrospect, his tweet was a rage bait. It was troll. It was fake for attention, for media outlets to pick up on it. Right? 1. 2. The guy employee is saying some complete bullshit. 3. Every other person involved and was then incorporated those statements, all at the same time lied. And also 4. Twitch banned one of their biggest money cow that they could ever get, one of their biggest icons, money-making machines, their poster boy for their company, banned them outright for not sexting a not minor. Gotcha. I believe it.
You also had folks like Hassan Piker pointing out that even while addressing this very serious situation, Doc was still maintaining his character.
Dude,
6
you're
foot
literally
8,
dressed up.
gorgeous, athletic,
How
successful,
are you
college
doing a
degree, college
character?
athlete, bourbon business,
How are you
gaming
doing a
student.
character in the
beautiful
midst of
family.
being
And trust me,
like